So this chapter opens up with a flashback of Star and her army buddies, and we're getting like this narration of her come up at New Order, and it says, at first sight it seems like a quirk that can do anything, but there is a limit to how much I can strengthen myself. No matter what rule I tried, it just wouldn't work. So I guess this is Horikoshi like continuing to try to defend and explain New Order. I'm just assuming that's what this is because he continues to do this. And it could be because of maybe some criticism or questions that people have. Not really sure. It could also just be Horikoshi just simply wanting to continue to explain this character and her abilities and how they work. Because I'm sure some people are probably so confused by its dynamic. And it's understandable. It is a very weird, nuanced quirk that seems to be possibly bringing us into the new power set that My Hero is going to have for the rest of the series. Like we might start seeing more abilities like New Order possibly, especially once quirks start awakening. The rest of the sequence is basically establishing that just like her team here are all great guys and they all love and respect her very much, and the feelings are mutual, and this is going to lead to her ultimate demise, I guess. So then we're picking up from the end of the previous chapter with Star like holding Shigaraki in place with the gigantic laser lance thing that she has going on, and she's just trying to hold him there long enough for the Tiamat missiles to make it there in time so that she can use them against him, which she's going to do in this chapter, and it's incredible. But while this is happening, Shigaraki's able to have like this internal monologue where he's like, she keeps trying to keep me in place using the beams. So he's aware of the plan that she's trying to orchestrate. Like he can even somehow sense that the missiles are coming. And we also see him like perpetually regenerating while getting microwaved at the same time. Like a lot of gruesome Shigaraki panels in this chapter. Then they essentially both decide that they're going to do their big gambles, and we see Star go for hers first, and she does like a small countdown. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community that offers thousands of classes for all skill levels in tons of creative and practical disciplines like drawing, animation, social media, film and video, things that probably my viewers would be interested in, I mean, including myself, because I was going to use Skillshare for video editing and things like that, you know, to improve my channel. But then I saw that they had a marketing class, and I was like, wait, I'm more interested in that right now. So then it gives you an option of like 2 different teachers. So I chose Tracy Wallace, and then once you go into her course, there's like 9 different lessons in it. This service is pretty cool. So guys, please check out Skillshare, because the first 1,000 of you that click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can start exploring your creativity today. Thanks again. And with her air giant thing, she grabs all the missiles, then makes a new rule with New Order saying that the missiles will rotate around. And then once they do, she brings them all around with, I guess, her most powerful attack, or at least what we've seen so far, and we get the new model hypersonic intercontinental ballistic punch. And like I said, it's incredible, and this is truly one of the greatest spectacles of the series. Dare I say it, this might be the strongest attack we have seen so far. This probably surpasses the United States of Smash, especially because they didn't really have to hold back here because they're like in the middle of the ocean, as to where like the United States of Smash took place in the middle of Camino. But I think this is it. We have jumped another shark in this series, which I'm on board for. Jumping the shark in this series at least doesn't ruin it, at least not yet. But this is amazing. And I'm sure I'm not alone in being excited to see this in season 7, or yeah, I think it'll be season 7. I mean, this thing is so massive that like Endeavor can see it from like miles away. We see like the sky getting cut out. I don't want to be a broken record, but you know, one-upping himself and all that good stuff. But if you thought it was going to be that easy, well, you're mistaken, because it's never that easy, especially with Shigaraki. Because once the smoke clears, we see that there's a massive hole in the ocean. Shigaraki, who is coming out of the hole in one of his grotesque panels, looking like like a zombie Zeus from regular Ragnarok. Then we get a flashback expositional monologue from Shigaraki here as he's approaching Star, shooting out of the ocean. He says he figured something was up, like, what we talked about earlier, how he was able to figure out Star's plan while getting microwaved at the same time. But he also says the moment the battle was about to change in her favor, I used decay to quickly deep dive underground. And wasn't that something a little excessive? Talking about the big ballistic missile spirit bomb pun. But as long as I can get out of the way before it hits me, I can handle it. That was close. What a gamble. Yeah, okay. It was more like Star was gambling. You were more so just playing with the plot. But I like the little cherry on top here when he's like, even if I was a millisecond late, it would have been a fatal wound. So I like that it's at least confirming that he would have been killed by this thing if he didn't, plot decay underground. But then it turns out that he was using the little Nomu Green Goblin glider thing that he has as a scapegoat here. And that brings us to where, he's popping out of the ocean and hopping between the jets like it's a Ninja Warrior course. And he like makes the Nomu explode, and this works to his advantage. And as Shigaraki is like hopping on the jets to get to Star, one of the pilots is like, do it now, Star. So he essentially wants Star's air giant to Hulk clap Shigaraki and the jet. And in theory, this should destroy him, but probably not. But before she could do this, she remembers the flashback that we saw in the beginning of the chapter. And like I said, that was gonna lead to her ultimate demise here, because that 1 second of hesitation is all that Shigaraki needed to capitalize. And in the final panel, we see him straight up grab her face. So I guess this is it for Star, and not a surprise because I would say most of us knew that this was gonna happen. She's kind of set up to fail here and also be a vehicle for Shigaraki / All For One to get this new busted ability. But also at the same time be a really cool character and have a great impact on the series. But is this truly the end for her? And I assume so. Like I said in my previous video, I expected her to go out like 2 chapters ago. So if this isn't the end for her and there is going to be more to her story or more to this battle here, I guess at the last second, she could possibly make a rule that makes it so that All For One or decay doesn't work on her possibly. Or she makes a rule as to where she can like take herself out possibly so that Shigaraki's not able to get the quirk, or she can like nerf herself maybe. Because remember, like I said, Horikoshi has been going out of his way these last couple chapters to tell us that her quirk can't do anything, that there are hard limits to it. So, keep that in mind too. But considering that he is like straight up making contact with her face here. So unless there's some opposite plot armor going on here, it's not looking good for her. But also establishing all of those limits and rules to New Order is probably for Shigaraki's future use of it. So it's like very, very specific to whatever All For One Shigaraki's nuanced goal is here. The goal that the audience isn't aware of yet. But let me know what you think about this in the comments. Do you think this is the end? Do you think he's gonna take her quirk? Or even take her out completely? Or all of it together? And what do you think Shigaraki or All For One ultimate goal with New Order is? Like, what do you think he's going to use? Let me know regardless. And if you like the video, guys, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.